Hey, Coach, so glad you found us on YouTube. Couple things. First of all, make sure you go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me help you put banners and all those things in the gym. It's a great community. We do one-on-one calls, office hours. There's nothing like it. And you get my personal email address. There's a roadmap in there to help you become a better basketball coach. Also, go over and subscribe and like. Have a great day.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops. Not sure what episode. Coach was nice enough to let me go to the bathroom because Coach has had some sickness. Let's just put it that way.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. From post-strep throat. But before we do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish. Now, do you guys have a Dr. Dish, Coach?
We do.
You do?
We do. Two of them, actually.
You do. So you don't have a gun. That's good. I haven't run anybody. Either everyone's lying to me.
I think I've got one of each, actually. I think we have a
each.
gun and we have a Dr. Dish.
Dr. Dish is the best. Number one selling one, bar none. They are awesome. Minnesota, Midwest. I'm not sure where the other one is. But they're up in the Twin Cities. Mentioned High School Hoops, mentioned Coach Collins to take really good care of you. Trust me. They will. They were taking really good care of me before they were sponsors. So mentioned they'll give you a good deal, $450 off, best deal out there. I tell them you only can be my sponsor if you're gonna give me the best deal out there. So and then go over check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. I want to take my wife out to dinner. I've got 2 kids in college, just trying to make an honest living. So if you like all the free content I give, go over and join Teachhoops. Some good new stuff coming out in Teachhoops. I've been videotaping behind the scenes of my high school films, everything over the last couple of years. So I'm going to be putting that as a secondary membership. So anyway, that's coming. I got a program. Anyway, nobody cares. But go over and check out teachhoops.com. All right. So let's do the first topic, defending ball screens.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's there's like a number of ways, everybody kind of has like a personal preference, right? Do you hedge or like do you ice or hedge it? Do you play drop coverage? Do you switch ball screens? Do you go over ball screens, go under ball screens? Like I think it's kind of just like a personal preference, but also kind of like a matchup thing. At least that's the way I look at it for me, it's a personal preference and a matchups that I don't like to switch.
See, I everything. And the reason is I don't have time to practice the reads. I don't have time. Sense. And there is no question that you're switching it. Like there's no I don't want a gray area.
Yeah. So
that's why we do it.
Yeah. For me, there's no question you're not switching it.
Okay.
And so,
am I hedging it? Am I stepping over it?
I have so how I would do it is like if we've got a ball screen here, I've got like a high hedge because I want to try to force this ball handler to take a dribble or 2 away from the basket. I'm sorry, you can't see that.
No, I get
a dribble away from the basket. And then I try to force my defender, teach my on-ball defender to go over.
So I don't disagree with that's a good move. I just know people in our league are so good.
Yeah.
That if you give them a half a step, they're making that turn.
Yeah.
And that hedge is going to have to be,
really high.
Yeah. It's like, that's the issue I have in our league. Like, we probably had 3 or 4 Division I athletes probably on first team. So it's like, I just don't have, it's just again, I don't mind if my 5'9" kid is on the 7-footer. To me, I really don't, because most high school kids can't make the pass well enough. He'll front it really well. And my 5'10" kid will front it. I know he will. He's the toughest kid ever. And then you got to try to lob, and that's assuming I don't have any weak side help over there on the lob, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Blah. So I don't know. I just have so many other things that I feel like I got to rep and practice.
Right. That you don't have time to do that.
I don't. And you got to rep that. You got to rep that a lot more than you got to rep 100%. That a lot more than stretching.
Switching. That's a rep. We rep that probably every other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. In practice. But part of the reason I do is a lot of the teams in our league run high pick and rolls. And so like,
And you don't
we're
have a
repping it
shot
anyway.
clock? You don't have
We
a
don't
shot
have a
clock?
shot clock in Michigan, no. And so a lot of teams are running high pick and roll. And so I rep it every day with a hard hedge and then extra help. Because I'd rather give up a 3 than a layup. And so if I can high hedge and force a kid to take a couple dribbles away from the basket instead of
So
turning
say
the
that
corner.
again. You'd rather give up a 3 than a layup?
Yeah, I'd rather give up a catch and shoot 3 where we can contest on a run out than give a wide open layup on a roll or a kid turning the corner getting to the hoop.
And
Just like a 3 is a lower percentage shot in my mind. Like,
100%, 100%. But if
so I'd rather
we
give one of
can't
those
get, I
up.
mean, if we give them an open 3, they're going to hit it. That's the
That's
problem in
true.
our league.
Yeah.
It's like, holy
Yeah.
crap. I'd rather
Yeah.
run them off and make them shoot the mid range or even go to the rim and maybe not get the foul call.
Yeah.
And again, I think it goes back to what you said at the beginning. I think it's, again, this is what drives me bonkers about the internet and all this kind of stuff is like both of our ways are right
Yeah.
for our situations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like
100%.
you go and read all this like, oh, you should do this and you should always do this. And you say, like, what are you talking about? No,
Right.
it depends. Yeah. Like,
I think part of it for me is like when I played, I was usually my team's like best defender.
Right.
And so I never wanted to switch because my assignment was to guard the other team's best player.
Right.
And so I personally never wanted to switch. And so I always fought.
Well, and if you're the best player, we're probably doubling. We're probably doubling.
Yeah, you're probably doubling.
And then we're switching out of and then we're blitzing out of that.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, we had the leading scorer in our state in our league this year at the highest division. I mean, school's 2,000. It's crazy. It's usually a small little school.
Yeah.
Score like we had to run at him. We had to double him. We had to like change up. We had to like because otherwise he was just so good at like crazy good at just kind of finding space. And you gave him, I'm for people that are listening, I'm holding up about 7 inches between hands. He would get through that.
Yeah.
It was like, how do you do that? Like, it just, and there's kids that just do that. They're just that talented. They're, but I think, so here's my takeaway for the high school coaches that are listening. Find something, rep it.
Get really good at it.
Be really good. Don't go from a team that ices and hedge versus a drop to the switch to the no switch. Don't give all the googly gook to your kids. Like both of our teams, I guarantee, have no confusion about what I want. Now, do we always do it? Do we always do it right? No. But if they don't do it, it's like I told you, you're supposed to do everyone. This is what we practice and blah, blah, blah. So I think that's the issue is I think these, especially a lot of new coaches get, and for a young coach, that's a compliment to you is like, you made a decision. Here's what we're going to do. And we're going to rep this. I think what happens is it's a shiny object thing. All of a sudden I watch UConn play and they did this. And then I watched them play and they did this. And then I did, it's like, okay, but you pick something that's going to work for you, your team, your players, and your league.
Yeah. I mean, nothing is worse than saying, hey, today we're going to switch everything. And then we're going to play a game in 2 days. And then we're not going to switch at all. Like,
you can't do that
back and forth.
You can't do that at the high school level, at least.
Yeah.
And again, I've been at a pretty high level. They're not. Yeah. I mean, when you get to the collegiate level, sure, because they're all the best players from all the best teams in there. But you can't, like, number 7 is like, going to leave practice and go be the lead in the musical or something. I don't know. But it's like, you can't, I think that's really hard. Now you can, I do it sometimes for I think personnels is important for scouts and that kind of stuff. But I agree. I think for the high school coaches listening, you decide what you want to be and be that.
Yeah.
Are you going to be a pack line D? Are you going to be a no middle D? Are you going to be, force middle, force base? What are you going to do? You're going to be a zone, whatever it is, be it.
Pick that and be that, because the more that you change, the more frustrated you're going to get. That's what I figured out. The more, as a young coach, I made all the mistakes of, all right, we're going to play man to man. And then we play terrible man. It's like, okay, well, maybe we're not going to play man. We're just going to play zone. And then we get torched in zone. And so we go back to man. And it's like,
Right.
The more you flip flop back and forth, the more frustrated you're going to get because you're not actually repping or getting good at anything. You're just
right. And there's
staying
times,
mediocre
and
at
there's
everything.
times like this year, our offense early in the season sucked, and we were trying to do some zoom action. It didn't work. We thought it would work with the team we had, and we kind of looked good, and then it didn't. And then it's like I can keep repping this, or I can go back to something I know is going to work. And we did that, and it was better. So there is a time to like, ooh. But again, stats teacher, you got to have enough reps.
Yes.
You got to have enough
gotta
data.
have enough reps.
Don't go game Tuesday, game Friday, game Tuesday, back and forth. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're never gonna get that to work. You're never gonna.
And you think you do that type of defense and screens because that's the kind of player you were.
I think that's kind of where I formed that mentality, is that's the type of player I was. But then also, like, from watching, when I first got hired, I took over Huddle and I watched the entire last season of basketball games all summer going into my first year coaching here. And I noticed that there is, in my league specifically, there's more good guard play than there is big play. And so I would rather try to like almost hard hedge and blitz guards than I would, worry about switching and getting, because the bigs are good enough. Like, our bigs are big. And so I don't, you're fine with your 5'9" guy guarding a 7-footer. Personally, I'm not, because I know I'm going to get torched and give up a bucket. Right. And so I would rather take my chances of trying to force guys away from the basket and then let them reset in half court.
Right.
When we recover, then let my 7-footer just make layup all night.
Yeah. That wouldn't be happening either. It'd be like something would happen with me. All right. Anything else with defending screens, coach?
I don't think so. I think it's just, like you said, just pick something and stick with it.
I think that's a great idea. All right. Thanks.
Hey, coach. So glad you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and like before you leave. And also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's got everything and a roadmap for you to become a better basketball coach. So go over and check it out. And let's head back to the next video, wherever that would be.